They don't tell you this, but retiring overseas could cost less than your cable bill back home. And no, it's not too good to be true. If you're dreaming of sipping coffee on a balcony with ocean views instead of worrying about property taxes and grocery bills, keep watching. Because today, I'm breaking down the top 5 cheapest countries to retire in 2025. I'm not just going to tell you the where, but the why, the real numbers, the lifestyle, and what you need to watch out for. Stick around, because number 1 on this list will surprise you. Welcome back to Retire Without Borders, the channel where I show you the ins and outs of retiring overseas. I was talking to a friend the other day about retiring outside of the United States. He asked what countries I'd recommend. Well, here they are in order. And remember, cheap doesn't have to mean giving up comfort. We're talking about places where your dollar stretches further, without sacrificing the things that make retirement sweet. Let's start with number 5, Vietnam, where every dollar buys more life. I've already created a whole video on retiring in Vietnam. You can watch it by clicking on the link above. Imagine waking up to the smell of fresh pho on the street corner, watching scooters whiz by, and knowing lunch might cost you less than your morning latte back home. So how inexpensive is it to live in Vietnam? On average, a couple can live well in cities like Da Nang or Nha Trang for about $1,200 to $1,500 a month. Your rent in a modern apartment in a central area can run you $400 to $600 a month. You may be asking why it's cheap. Well, to start, local food is incredibly affordable. Eating where the locals do can keep daily meals under $10. Transportation is cheap too. Think $50 to $70 a month if you're using grab bikes or buses. Some of the lifestyle perks are also awesome. The beaches along the central coast are stunning. Vietnam has a buzzing expat community, so you won't feel alone. Healthcare is decent and affordable. Private clinics often charge $30 to $50 for a visit. Yet, even in a wonderful location like Vietnam, there are some challenges to watch out for. The language barrier can feel tough at first, but a lot of expats say you pick up enough basics quickly. Traffic in bigger cities like Ho Chi Minh City can feel like organized chaos. Anecdote time. One retired American I read about moved to Da Nang, got a sea view apartment, eats out almost every day, and still spends under $1,400 a month. Back in Florida, he paid that just in property tax and insurance. Okay, next on the list is Mexico. Close to home but feels like a world away. Mexico isn't just for spring breakers and tacos, though honestly, the tacos alone might convince you. It's a retiree favorite for a reason. Text. Cost of living. For starters, the cost of living is way lower than in the United States. A couple can live comfortably in places like Mérida, Oaxaca, or even parts of Baja California for about $1,500 to $2,000 a month. Rent for a 2-bedroom apartment in a good area? Around $500 to $800. If it's so good, why is it so cheap? Groceries and eating out are way less expensive than in the US. You can hire help, a weekly cleaning lady, gardener, for a fraction of what it costs back home. Some of the lifestyle perks of Mexico are that short flights back to the US make visiting family easy. Mexico has warm weather, colorful culture, and historic towns. There are modern private hospitals in major cities. You can get insurance for around $100 to $150 a month. But like anywhere, there are some challenges to watch. Some regions have safety concerns. Do your homework. I would not want to live in Juarez or Guerrero, for example. Bureaucracy can test your patience when it comes to visas. Fun fact, about 1 million Americans already live in Mexico. Proof you're not the only one thinking about it. Text. But 3. Portugal. Number 3 is Portugal, Europe on a budget. Yes, Europe can be affordable if you know where to look, and Portugal is proof of this. Text. Cost of living. Let's take a look at the cost of living in Portugal. A couple can live comfortably in cities like Porto, Coimbra, or smaller towns for around $2,000 to $2,500 a month. Rent in Lisbon can be higher, about $1,500 a month, but move 20 to 30 minutes out and prices drop fast. There's Oeiras, a tech and business hub about 20 minutes outside of Lisbon. This town has top schools, smooth transport links, riverfront parks, and nearby beaches. It is a great choice for those who want modern amenities without the expense or city noise of Lisbon. The areas of Estoril and Carcavelos are about half an hour by train or car from Lisbon. Both of these locations have a chilled coastal vibe with great beaches and family-friendly parks. They have a good expat infrastructure. Estoril is known for its casino and resort feel. You may be wondering, why is Portugal so cheap for Europe? Eating out isn't as pricey as you might think. A nice local meal can be $10 to $15. Utilities and transportation are reasonably priced. Some of the lifestyle perks of Portugal include mild weather year-round, especially in the south. Portugal also has wonderful beaches, fantastic wine, and a vast history. Remember, some of the most well-known explorers were Portuguese. The entire country of Brazil still speaks Portuguese today. Living in Portugal is basically like living inside a postcard. Portugal also has a great public healthcare system, plus private insurance under $100 to $150 a month. Again, though, there are some challenges to watch out for. Learning basic Portuguese helps a lot to get around. It is similar to Spanish, but it is different enough to make it challenging. In popular expat spots like Lisbon and the Algarve, housing prices have climbed, but smaller towns remain affordable. In Lisbon, for example, prices in recent years have climbed well over 5% per year. In Algarve, prices have climbed over 20%. But look at it this way. Portugal regularly ranks among the top 10 safest countries in the world. That peace of mind can be priceless. Okay, moving on in our countdown. Number 2 on our list is Ecuador. Ecuador is a small country with huge value. Now, Ecuador might fly under your radar, but it punches above its weight for retirees. Ecuador has become a top choice for American retirees thanks to its remarkable mix of affordability, its natural beauty, and welcoming culture. The cost of living is significantly lower than in the US, allowing retirees to stretch their pensions further while enjoying modern comforts. Charming colonial cities like Cuenca and Quito offer rich history, vibrant expat communities, and quality healthcare at a fraction of US prices. Beyond the cities, Ecuador boasts stunning scenery. From the lush Amazon rainforest to the breathtaking Andes Mountains and Pacific Coast beaches, all within a day's travel. Add in a mild, spring-like climate in many areas, generous retiree visa policies, and friendly locals, and it's easy to see why Ecuador is often ranked among the best places in the world to retire. Let's start with the cost of living in Ecuador. Many expats report living comfortably on $1,200 to $1,800 a month, especially in cities like Cuenca or Loja. In fact, rent can be as low as $400 to $600 a month for a modern apartment. So why is it so inexpensive? Well, for starters, local markets sell fresh produce for pennies. Public transport is incredibly cheap, sometimes as little as 25 cents a ride. Also, there are some great lifestyle perks. Ecuador uses the US dollar, which makes money management easier. They have a mild, spring-like climate in mountain cities, no need for AC or heating. Ecuador has quality healthcare. Doctor visits can cost $30 to $40 and health insurance around $70 to $150 a month. Again, though, there are some challenges to watch. The altitude in cities like Cuenca, which is at 8,400 feet, can take some getting used to. Internet in rural areas may be slower than you're used to. Story time. I read about a Canadian couple who retired to Loja. They say their monthly grocery bill dropped by over 50% compared to Canada, and they still eat fresh fruits and vegetables daily. And now for the number 1 place to retire where your dollar stretches further. Text, number 1, the Philippines is none other than the Philippines. Here, your dollar-plus island life equals a fabulous retirement. Topping our list, the Philippines. Think island life without island prices. For a deep dive into the Philippines, check out my video on that country, which I've linked above. Again, let's look at the cost of living. A couple can live very comfortably for about $1,200 to $1,800 a month, depending on the island. American retirees have a range of lifestyle options to fit different budgets. Metro Manila and Cebu City are the priciest, with rents for a modern one-bedroom condo in good areas ranging from about $500 to $900 per month, plus higher costs for dining out and imported goods. Davao City and Iloilo City are more affordable urban options, where similar condos might run $300 to $600 per month, and local markets and restaurants are budget-friendly. Coastal towns like Dumaguete and Tagaytay, in the mountains near Manila, offer an even lower cost of living, where retirees can comfortably live on $1,200 to $1,800 per month, including rent, utilities, and daily expenses, without sacrificing quality of life. Tourist hotspots like Boracay or resort areas on Mactan Island tend to push costs higher, especially for beachfront properties or Western-style housing. You may be asking why the Philippines is so cheap. First, local markets and street food are incredibly affordable. Also, domestic travel between islands is budget-friendly. Some of the lifestyle perks of the Philippines. English is widely spoken, a huge plus. Friendly locals known for hospitality. There are over 7,000 islands to explore. White sand beaches aren't just for vacations. They're your backyard. Private healthcare is affordable. Many expats choose insurance, which is around $100 to $150 a month. Retiring in the Philippines can be wonderful, but it does come with a few real-world challenges. Americans should keep in mind, healthcare quality varies by location. Big cities like Manila, Cebu, and Davao have good hospitals and specialists, but rural and island areas may have limited facilities. For anything serious, you might need to travel back to the city, or even abroad. Internet speeds can vary by island. In fact, power outages, patchy internet, and sometimes unpredictable water supply can happen, especially outside major urban centers. This can frustrate retirees used to more reliable services in the U.S. Some areas are prone to typhoons and even earthquakes, so location choice matters. Some areas are more susceptible than others. One American retiree I read about moved to Dumaguete. His budget? Around $2,400 a month, including rent, food, and healthcare. And yes, he gets beachfront walks daily. Now here's the catch. Living cheap doesn't mean living free of worries. Retirement overseas can throw you curveballs. Sometimes, visas and paperwork can be confusing, especially if it is in another language. Some places I've mentioned have limited healthcare in rural areas. As a senior, you will probably need more frequent medical treatment available. Currency fluctuations can change your monthly budget overnight. While you will be living in whatever country, your retirement and savings are most likely in US dollars. If the currency fluctuates greatly, your savings can expand or shrink. And then there's the emotional part, being far from family. Flying from New York City to Manila in the Philippines, for example, is a 24-hour process, not including layovers. These are real challenges, and it's why you don't just pick the cheapest country to move to. You pick the country that fits your lifestyle and what matters to you. So how do you choose? Let's break it down. Choosing where to live abroad in retirement isn't just about finding the cheapest spot on the map. It's about matching your lifestyle, values, and practical needs with the right destination. Start by thinking honestly about what matters most to you. Do you want a vibrant city full of culture and dining, or a laid-back beach town where life moves slowly? Consider the cost of living and how it fits your retirement income. And don't forget to factor in healthcare quality, safety, and visa requirements. Climate is huge too. Some thrive in tropical heat, while others prefer mild spring-like weather year-round. Like I said, visit potential places first, stay for a few weeks or months, and connect with local expat communities to get a real feel. There are tons of online communities dedicated to discussing retiring overseas. Check out one of them on Facebook or your favorite social networking site. Think about climate. Do you want eternal summer, or are you okay with a rainy season? Consider language. Are you willing to learn, or do you want a place where English is common? Healthcare. If you have ongoing health needs, make sure there's a good hospital nearby. Community. Some people love remote living, others need an expat social circle. Here's a quick tip. Spend a few months renting before buying anything. Treat it like a test drive. Check out my video on taking a country test drive linked above. Data point. A 2023 survey by International Living found that 74% of retirees abroad said the biggest surprise wasn't cost savings. It was how fast they felt at home. But they also said the first 6 months were the hardest, adjusting to new systems and new neighbors. By balancing heart and head, adventure with practical research, you're more likely to choose a place that feels like home for the long run. So here's the thing nobody really tells you. Retiring overseas isn't about running away from something. It's about running towards something better. Retiring overseas is about waking up excited for the day. Retiring overseas is about living well on less, so you can spend time, not just money. And retiring overseas is about writing the next chapter of your life, exactly the way you want it. That's not just retirement. That's what I call freedom. Let's recap the list one more time. Number 5. Vietnam, beach life, cheap eats, buzzing cities. Number 4. Mexico, culture, food, close to home. Number 3. Portugal, European charm, mild weather. Number 2. Ecuador, low cost, mild climate, dollar economy. Number 1. The Philippines, English-speaking paradise on a budget. And remember, the cheapest place is the one where your quality of life is richest. Alright, so you have some ideas as to where you'd like to set up your home for retirement. Now what? Watch the next video popping up to see how to actually plan your move abroad.